Welcome back to Today we will learn about the issue that has been consuming Salem's residents and viewers alike, the shocking truth behind DiMera's shooting and the heart-wrenching decision that will transform Kristen DiMera into an unlikely hero while forever changing the dynamics of her family. The weight of motherhood. Kristen's ultimate sacrifice. The investigation into DiMera's near-fatal shooting has taken a devastating turn, revealing layers of complexity that no one in Salem could have anticipated. Recent developments suggest that Kristen DiMera will face an impossible choice, one that will define her character in ways previously unimaginable. As the evidence continues to mount and suspicions swirl around the women present at the DiMera mansion that fateful night, Kristen finds herself standing at the precipice of a decision that could destroy her freedom but save her daughter's future. The psychological toll on Kristen becomes evident as she witnesses Rachel's deteriorating emotional state. The young girl, who once radiated innocence and joy, now carries the burden of traumatic memories that threaten to consume her fragile psyche. Kristen's maternal instincts, long suppressed by years of scheming and manipulation, surge to the forefront as she recognizes the depth of her daughter's suffering. The realization that Rachel may be harboring a dark secret about that night transforms Kristen's perspective entirely, shifting her focus from self-preservation to complete maternal devotion. Rachel's hidden trauma. The truth emerges. The mystery surrounding EJ's shooting takes on new dimensions when we consider Rachel's peculiar behavior following the incident. Her nightmares about gunshots, her early departure from her own birthday celebration, and her visible distress whenever the shooting is mentioned paint a picture of a child grappling with overwhelming guilt and fear. These behavioral patterns suggest that Rachel witnessed far more than she initially revealed, possibly even participating in events that her young mind struggles to process. Recent spoilers indicate that Rachel's memories of that tragic evening may be surfacing in fragments, creating a psychological minefield for the entire family. The possibility that this innocent child pulled the trigger, whether accidentally or in a moment of childish impulse, adds layers of tragedy to an already complex situation. Rachel's connection to her uncle EJ, previously characterized by typical family dynamics, may have been strained by circumstances that adults failed to recognize or address adequately. The implications extend beyond simple family drama. Rachel's potential involvement in the shooting creates a legal and moral quandary that challenges everyone's understanding of justice and protection. Her age makes traditional legal proceedings complicated, while her emotional fragility demands careful handling from both family members and law enforcement officials. EJ's recovered memories, pieces of the puzzle. EJ's hypnosis sessions with Marlena Evans have begun yielding crucial information about the night he was shot, but the emerging memories create more questions than answers. His recollection of trying to take a gun away from a woman suggests a struggle occurred, but his inability to identify the specific individual indicates either psychological blocking or the traumatic nature of the incident itself. The fact that he remembers attempting to disarm someone suggests protective instincts were involved, possibly indicating his recognition of the shooter's vulnerability or his desire to prevent further tragedy. The selective nature of EJ's memory recovery points to deeper psychological mechanisms at work. His subconscious may be protecting him from fully confronting the identity of his shooter, particularly if that person holds emotional significance in his life. This psychological barrier could be his mind's way of preserving family relationships or protecting his own emotional stability while he physically recovers from his injuries. Medical professionals understand that trauma victims often experience fragmented memory recovery, with the most emotionally challenging aspects returning last. EJ's journey toward complete memory restoration represents not just a medical process but an emotional and psychological reckoning with the events that nearly cost him his life. The DiMera family's moral crossroads. The potential revelation that Rachel was responsible for the shooting forces the entire DiMera family to confront fundamental questions about loyalty, justice, and protection. Kristen's consideration of a false confession represents the ultimate maternal sacrifice, willingly accepting imprisonment to shield her daughter from the legal and social consequences of her actions. This decision reflects a complete transformation in Kristen's character priorities, moving from self-serving manipulation to selfless maternal devotion. The family dynamics become increasingly complex as other members grapple with their own moral positions. Brady's role as Rachel's father places him in an impossible situation, torn between supporting Kristen's sacrifice and seeking alternative solutions that might preserve both his daughter's future and his ex-wife's freedom. The weight of these decisions tests the bonds between family members while revealing the depth of their love for Rachel. EJ's position becomes particularly complicated if he recovers memories confirming Rachel's involvement. His role as both victim and family member creates conflicting obligations, seeking justice for the crime committed against him while protecting his young niece from consequences that could devastate her life. The resolution of these competing interests will likely define the family's future relationships and individual character development. Marlena's professional dilemma. Dr. Marlena Evans finds herself navigating treacherous professional and personal waters as Rachel's psychological condition becomes increasingly apparent. Her expertise in trauma and memory recovery positions her uniquely to understand Rachel's condition, but her family connections complicate her ability to maintain professional objectivity. The possibility of revealing her suspicions about Rachel to other family members, including Belle, creates ethical dilemmas that challenge her professional standards. Marlena's therapeutic relationship with both EJ and potentially Rachel requires careful management to avoid conflicts of interest while ensuring both patients receive appropriate care. Her insights into Rachel's psychological state may prove crucial in determining the best course of action for the child's long-term mental health and emotional development. The decision to share or withhold information from family members tests the boundaries between professional ethics and family loyalty. The psychological assessment of Rachel's condition becomes critical in determining appropriate interventions and support systems. Marlena's expertise suggests that Rachel's behavior patterns indicate significant trauma that requires immediate and ongoing therapeutic intervention, regardless of the legal implications of her actions. Brady's transformation and family unity. The crisis surrounding Rachel's situation catalyzes a fundamental shift in Brady's perception of Kristen and their co-parenting relationship. Witnessing Kristen's willingness to sacrifice her freedom for their daughter's welfare challenges his previous assumptions about her character and motivations. This transformation in their dynamic could establish a foundation for renewed cooperation and mutual respect, even if romantic reconciliation remains unlikely. Brady's recognition of Kristen's maternal devotion forces him to reevaluate their past conflicts and current priorities. The shared commitment to protecting Rachel creates common ground that transcends their romantic history and personal grievances. His evolving appreciation for Kristen's sacrifice represents character growth and maturity in his approach to family relationships. The crisis also highlights Brady's own parenting evolution as he grapples with supporting Rachel through her trauma while respecting Kristen's decisions about handling the situation. His role requires balancing protective instincts with recognition of Rachel's need for both parents' emotional support during this challenging period. Salem's response and community impact. The revelation of Kristen's potential confession and Rachel's involvement will reverberate throughout Salem's tight-knit community, challenging residents' perceptions of justice, family loyalty, and child welfare. Community members who previously viewed Kristen primarily through the lens of her past manipulations may develop newfound respect for her maternal sacrifice, while others may question the ethics of allowing a child's actions to be covered up through false confession. The legal community, including prosecutors and defense attorneys, faces complex ethical questions about pursuing cases involving child perpetrators and false confessions by family members. The situation tests Salem's justice system's ability to balance legal requirements with humanitarian considerations and community welfare. Local residents' reactions will likely reflect broader societal debates about childhood trauma, family responsibility, and the appropriate response to juvenile involvement in serious crimes. The community's response may influence the family's decision-making process and the long-term consequences of their choices. The path forward. Healing and redemption. Regardless of the legal outcomes, the DiMera family faces a lengthy journey toward healing and recovery from the traumatic events surrounding EJ's shooting. Rachel's psychological treatment becomes paramount, requiring specialized therapeutic interventions designed for children who have experienced severe trauma or committed serious acts. The family's ability to provide consistent emotional support while addressing the underlying issues that contributed to the crisis will determine Rachel's long-term emotional health and development. Kristen's potential imprisonment, whether through false confession or other legal complications, creates additional challenges for family stability and Rachel's continued care. The arrangements for Rachel's custody and ongoing support systems become critical factors in her recovery process. Brady's increased involvement in Rachel's care may provide stability, but cannot fully replace the maternal relationship that Kristen's sacrifice threatens to disrupt. The family's journey toward healing requires confronting not only the immediate crisis but also the underlying dynamics and circumstances that contributed to the tragic events. This process may reveal additional family issues that require attention and resolution to prevent future crises and support healthy family functioning. The transformation of Kristen from villain to heroic mother will undoubtedly become one of Salem's most memorable character arcs, demonstrating the power of maternal love to inspire profound personal change and sacrifice. Her willingness to accept imprisonment to protect Rachel establishes a new benchmark for parental devotion while challenging viewers' expectations about character development and redemption in the world of daytime drama.